So our next speaker, our last speaker, well, if you don't count me, is a member of the Massachusetts Republican State Committee. He's a chairman of the Issues Committee for the state party, and he was a candidate for U.S. Congress in 2002 and Massachusetts State Senate in 2006. He is writing a column which is syndicated. It's, well, I don't know if it's syndicated, but it appears weekly in print and online outlets, so let's assume it's syndicated. It's called Getting It Right. He lives in Lee, Massachusetts. Folks, please welcome Matt Kinnaman.
Thank you. Thank you for staying here until this quick close. It's going to be a quick close. So much great truth has already been spoken. And to Carla and Kamal and everybody who's made this effort go forward, you deserve our thanks. We know that we can never count up the hours and really the expense, the fortune that goes into it on our behalf from you. So we want to say a big thank you for that. And we hope you get your due on November 4th when this thing passes. It is truly a momentous honor to be here with you because we are where the original patriots began, the greatest experiment in human freedom and prosperity that the world has ever seen. And at that time, they stood against an imperialist power, which was the strongest one in the world at that time. And they were told that if they succeeded in ending the tax on tea, all would be over. And we hear the same thing right now, that if we succeed in ending the tax on your rightfully earned property, your income, all will be over. And it wasn't true then, it's not true now, and as those patriots understood, it's necessary for the strengthening and the continuation of the freedom that they began. And that's why we have to get this thing done. They say on Beacon Hill that we can't afford to lose $12 billion. We can't afford to lose $12 billion. I see it a little bit differently. In fact, I see it a lot differently. We can't afford to continue to lose our population to 49 other states with whom we compete, because that population, when it leaves the borders of Massachusetts, takes with it prosperity, takes with it revenue, takes with it jobs, takes with it the skilled workers that we need. Our legislature is addicted to spending. It's been well established here today. Their idea of the future is to continue to take as much as they possibly can of what you earn. And our governor's idea of the future is to ask you to gamble the rest of it so that they can spend that as well. This is an addictive behavior that needs to be brought to an end. Now, Massachusetts loses people at the 48th and 49th worst rate in the country. The number has varied in recent years. It's a badge of dishonor to lose as many people as we do, 500,000 between 1991 and 2007. Our neighbor to the west, New York, loses more people than any other state. They have a lot more to lose there. They have a larger population. But even their governor, just now, Governor Patterson said that his legislature needs to get off the addiction of taxes. And if that state can begin to get the message, if that governor can begin to get the message, we'll have one more state that we won't be able to compete with. If Massachusetts doesn't get this one right, we are going to lose more of the greatest treasure we have, and the one treasure we cannot afford to continue losing, and that is our people. So people, this is about you. This is about those outside these walls. This is about more than 6 million people who need to be joined by others here in Massachusetts to build a future. When it comes to the future, Beacon Hill says if question 1 passes, we won't have one. Beacon Hill says if question 1 passes, we won't have any tax revenue. So I have to ask you this question. Is it the legislature that creates tax revenue and pays taxes? No. Who is it? It's the people. Is it the legislature that builds our infrastructure and teaches in our school and dreams about how to do better tomorrow for us and for our children? Is it the legislature? that staffs our fire departments and our police departments? Is it them? No, it's the people. Is it the legislature on Beacon Hill that creates our future? Who creates our future? It's the people who create our future. You know, this nation is unique in history because in this nation it was recognized in the most powerful and singular way, in this room, in fact, that it's the people who build the future we were destined to live. It's the people endowed with their unalienable rights that ensure that we can make the most of our lives. So the final question I have to ask you today, is there one thing that we can do now to make Massachusetts a land of opportunity once again? Remember that we were the original land of American opportunity. People came here to discover how bright their future could be, but things have changed. Now people flee from Massachusetts. They are repelled from Massachusetts to places where they think the opportunity is greater. Is there one thing we can do to turn this around? Is there one thing we can do to once again attract not only jobs, not only companies, not only more revenue, but is there one thing we can do to attract more families, more young people, more people to the original land of opportunity and make it the land of opportunity for the future and our future generations? There is one thing we can do. On November 4th, we can vote for question 1. We can vote to pass question 1, and we can restore Massachusetts as the leader of American opportunity once again. And I ask you to do that, and to thank you, Carla, and all of you for being here, and let's get the job done.